The numbers that prove graduate salaries are falling. There are commenters like this who have £55,000 debt after graduating from university, with an average salary of just about £30,000. And with inflation rising as well as cost of living, graduates cannot simply survive. And then there's stories like this where renters must earn more than £75,000 to afford to live in London. And a lot of graduates are graduating from London universities. Now, if they're graduating with between 30 and 45k salary, there is no chance that they'll be able to have a good quality of life living in London, compared to the previous generation that were able to buy a house with 3 or 4 years worth of salary. It's got to the point now where it's better off to actually relocate countries or work online to actually have a good quality of life. And that's something that I did about 7 months ago, is I moved out to Vietnam. I was paying £3,500 in rent a month, on top of everything else like going out, groceries, energy bills, all of that stuff. I was spending every single penny I earned and I wasn't able to save. Now, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed my time in London, but then you have to pay for the privilege of the risk of getting robbed. I must have witnessed about 5 knife attacks and just pure degeneracy, which didn't make me feel comfortable. Now, fortunately, I'm able to work online, but out here in Vietnam, I'm spending less than £1,000 a month. And I've got beautiful weather, kind people, there's no theft here, not even crime. I think we're going to see the biggest shift generationally when it comes to people leaving the UK to find elsewhere a place to build a home, a family, and have a good quality of life. So comment below if you're going to stay in the UK or you're thinking of leaving.
Listen, I saw a video on my For You page and there was a police officer, frontline police officer. She's talking about how much she earns. She said at her stage, she earns anything between 28,000 to 34,000. Frontline. She said she deals with stabbings, shootings, fires, terrorists, and she's getting 28k to escape death every single day. I think that's an insult, if you ask me. I want to go as far as saying I think that's flipping abusive, mate. 28,000 to sprint after somebody wielding a machete. Somebody's dodging bullets like it's Chirac. Somebody could be dealing with anything that day. And apparently this page is there to kind of inspire people to get into work. If anything, that will keep me off work, mate. If anything, that will keep me off work. Because if I see that video and I ain't got a job, and I see that for doing something as big as chasing after dangerous people, I'm getting paid flipping 28,000, I think I'd rather sit on my ass all day at home. Genuinely. Because that 28k, that's 1,028 times. And that's even, what, before tax? How do we say? Yeah, before tax. Let's say that's about £25,000. £25,000 to risk your life on the front line every single day. Country's a joke, mate.
Apply for minimum wage jobs stacking shelves, and they want you to write an essay about why you're God's greatest creation. Yeah, totally agree with this, guys. It was a big problem for me. So I was actually unemployed for years and years and years. Right, I'm 28 now, and when I left sixth form in, how old was I when I left sixth form? About 17, 18? And I was unemployed for a long time, mainly because of the application processes. And I remember the job centre used to send me on these courses to try and do these application processes and help me out, and I just couldn't do them. Like, I honestly couldn't do them at all. It was very, very difficult. And I was just working like temporary jobs here and there, just getting a bit of money where we could. And also when COVID hit, there was a program called Kickstart. And I got a job through Kickstart. Then I went to college and did my equivalent to 3 A-levels in business. Then I went to university, dropped out of uni, 2 jobs now. I work 2 jobs, looking to set up a side hustle, and I invest. But even now, my jobs are agency work. It's all agency. Now, I prefer that because it's more flexible given my schedule. But yeah, it's all agency jobs because I still can't do the application forms. Imagine that. I can do investing, crypto. I can tell you about stock investing, reinvesting dividends, macroeconomic business environment. But I can't do these application forms. And I know people who are unemployed for years and years and years, not because they're lazy, they're actually hungry to get into work, but they can't get through these barriers. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous.
We have come to accept low salaries in the UK. In fact, the average wage in the UK is £37,000. And if you compare that to neighbouring Germany, it's £50,000. In the United States, it's even higher. And that's a big problem because the average house price in the UK is £320,000, which is about the same as Germany. However, A person in the UK needs to earn 9 times their salary in order to buy the average house in the UK, whilst in Germany it's around 6 to 1. I mention real estate because it's the #1 purchase of every single person. Now, a lot can be done to bring the UK back towards a global powerhouse which attracts the best minds and employees across the world. And I'll cover this in future videos, so follow for more.
A genuine question, why are the salaries in the UK so low? Yeah.
As hilarious as this guy is, there's nothing funny about Brits watching American salary transparency videos. See, the average Brit earns about 30% less than the average American, even though our rent is almost 30% more. It's almost insulting then to find out that the average American property has 60% more space than its partners across the pond. But many millennials and Gen Zs in the UK have given up on owning any property at all, as the average house price has risen exponentially faster than the average salary. And I know doctors are better off than average, but I was watching one of those American salary transparency videos and I saw that a US emergency medicine physician was earning more than $35,000 for just doing his shifts, whereas me in London, I would have to wait more than a decade to even think about buying a property that I wanted if it wasn't for my social media income. Now, it's taken me around 8 years to generate this, but it's wild compared to my NHS income, which when I was working full-time as a final year junior doctor, I was making just above $6,000 every single month, and now I can make above $17,000 doing things like brand deals, getting YouTube ad revenue, and from TikTok as well. Now, it should not be like this, but sadly, this is our reality. So if you want to find out how I actually started to build my social media profiles to make this, then I could probably charge you for it, but I'm going to give you my strategy for free during my live 3 Secrets webinar, but spaces are limited, so sign up in the link in my bio right now.
Are employers aware that there is a massive cost of living crisis going on at the moment, especially in the UK? Because the salaries that they are advertising jobs at would tell me that they are not. So you've either got jobs you're applying for which don't advertise a salary bracket, so you're just going in blind and hoping for the best, or you're looking at the salaries they're advertising and nearly falling off your seat because you're going, that does not match up to the job title or inflation or anything else for that matter. And on top of that, a lot of jobs are expecting people to be in the office a minimum of 3 days a week, which I just think is absolutely mad. And how are people supposed to afford this? Someone tell me the logic.
So you're wondering what the average UK salary is by age group? Well, let's break it down. So between 18 and 21, the average salary is £24,440. Between ages 22 and 29 is £32,292. And between 30 and 39, it is £39,988. And then it slows down at age 40 to 49 with an average salary of £42,796. And then the ages between 50 and 59, the salary is £40,456. And then 60 plus, when people are getting retired, and also you could say age discrimination, where people don't want to hire people who are older, so you end up having to maybe get a lower income job. Then ages 60 plus get an average salary of £36,036. Trading 212 are actually doing an offer on stocks where you can invest and get a free fractional share if you use my code BEN or link in the bio, and you'll get a free fractional share worth up to £100, and that could help you kickstart your investing journey and hopefully help you on your way to financial freedom.
It's only me. When I look at some of these UK salaries, it makes me think that I've walked into the wrong career. I think I've genuinely walked into the wrong career path. Cause what you mean 27k? Yo, I have not done all this revision for 27k when I graduate from university, bro. What sort of malarkey is this? Then I look at someone else chatting graduate investment banker or some shit, some accountant thing, and they're chatting like 50k graduate job, 60k. What? Why didn't I just do that? I'm more than qualified to have done maths or something at uni. Why shouldn't I have done that? Yo, there's a hair in my head. I'm actually gonna be broke.
So guys, on my side of TikTok, there's a girl going viral at the moment because she said £34,000 wasn't a good salary. And guys, you should see the comments, the amount of people that are coming for her and telling her that 34,000 is a good salary and they wish they were on 34,000. Honestly, the attitude that some British people have towards money and salaries is astounding to me. Like, £34,000 after tax is about £2,200. The average cost of living in the UK ranges from like 2,700 to like £4,000 if you're a family with children. So as you can see, the salary does not even cover the living costs on average. And people in the comments are like, oh, it's because you live in London, you know, outside of London, £34,000 is a livable salary. And that is the optimum word. It's just livable. This is the problem that we have in the UK. A lot of people are not doing very well. A lot of people are just surviving. And the main reason for this is that cost of living has gone up significantly over the last number of years, where salaries have barely gone up. They are stagnant. Like, realistically, what can most people living in the major cities in the UK do with £2,200 when rent is so significantly expensive, cost of food has gone up? Like, what can you do? Most people in the comments are like, oh, well, I have that salary and, you know, I'm able to go on one holiday, I have a mortgage and I save £200. £200 a month to save when you need to retire one day is not enough. Like, it's not enough. And I don't understand how people can't see that the government is really failing people and we need to do something to push back and not have this attitude in thinking that, oh, just because £34,000 is good in one small area of the country, it means that it's a good salary overall. It's not. Like, do you know how rich this country is? How much money we're supposed to have? And our average salary is £37,000, not even £37,000, less than. You know, arguing with the girl because she's saying she literally cannot survive. Rather than telling her, oh, well, if you move to Hull, then, well, you would have, people shouldn't have to move to be able to afford to live. Like, what about that are people not understanding? You shouldn't have to leave your home to be able to live. And if we all decide, oh, well, let's pack up our bags and move to Hull, what do you think is going to happen? That nice little £300 mortgage that you currently have is going to skyrocket, which is exactly what's happening in Bristol, in Manchester, in loads of cities outside of London. These salaries are not good enough and not high enough to sustain us. Please, like, I just don't understand. I don't understand.
Can an accountant earn more than the 35,000 average UK salary? Let's find out. According to the ONS, the average UK full-time salary is £34,963. So let's see if it's above or below average. According to Prospects UK, uni apprenticeship grads can expect to earn £40,000 to £65,000 just while being trained to become a chartered accountant, with the average salary of a chartered accountant in private business at £134,000 plus bonuses. That seems like an insane amount, so let's go and check that. According to Indeed, the average salary of an accountant without being chartered is £36,736, and Glassdoor puts it around £41,000, so not too different. Looking at Indeed, most of the jobs I could see advertised were around £35,000 to £60,000 asking for a chartered accountant. But a lot of jobs say they'll give you a competitive offer, and most of the prestigious jobs probably aren't even advertised on there. I also found this video from Ryan King, who earned £49,000 as soon as he became a chartered accountant. And before that, he was earning 23, 31 and 36 on placements at uni, but I don't think he was studying accountancy. I think that was on a finance course. The highest salary I could find on Indeed searching for qualified accountant was 85,000 as a financial report manager or a client tax manager at up to £90,000. To earn any more from jobs I could find on Indeed, you had to move on to become a finance manager with salaries from 100 grand upwards, or a CEO, which doesn't really have a ceiling, depends on the size of the company. I've also heard that a lot of CEOs start off as chartered accountants and auditors and then get hired to run bigger companies. Becoming a qualified accountant at any stage also puts you in good stead for other financial jobs such as wealth management, which has a serious shortage of younger employees at the moment. So there are loads of schemes to get in. So if you're starting at minimum of 30k with a bunch of prospects, seems like a pretty good option if you ask me.
We need to keep it on the real. The UK is in a massive slump and it's impacting our salaries. Listen, majority of people know that the UK is a low salary country. Like jobs in the UK relative to the US, people in the US are earning 2 to 3 times more than people in the UK, even though they have the same job. It's just jarring. And recently I found out that the major reason why is just down to low productivity. Financial Times had a really good piece which showed the fact that low productivity is directly impacting our wages. So between the years of 2007 and 2024, labour productivity rose by 5.9% and real wages rose by 2.2% over that period. So despite the fact that real wages take into account inflation, that is pretty whack. 2.2%, like, that ain't moved the needle, I'm telling you. And then in the previous 17 years, from 1990 to 2007, UK productivity rose by 38%, while real wages rose by 42%. So you can see the difference. Your wage increasing by 42% when taking into account inflation. Like, you're getting your money worth. Like, you're feeling that impact on your income. You know what I'm saying? And the fact is, the only way the UK is gonna have salaries which are livable, desirable, and comparable is if the UK improves its productivity. And honestly, do I see that happening? I don't know, but I hope it does, because, bro, people cannot, like, continue living like this. Like, I remember I read on Twitter, someone said the new, like, 30k, 60k. It's like, bro, it doesn't make sense. When the average salary is 30k, most people don't even touch 50k. So, while going, the maths is just not adding up. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But that's real talk.
I moved back to the UK from Australia about 6 months ago. And one of the biggest things that I'm getting the most culture shock from since moving back is how much everything costs in the UK. Like, it's actually crazy how much everything costs. Like, anything beauty, lifestyle, health, wellness. One of my favourite things to do on a Saturday morning when I was in Australia was literally just go get a coffee, do a Pilates class, go home and do meal prep. The entire time that I was in Australia, I paid for a ClassPass subscription. That was about $70 a month. And that ClassPass subscription gave me access to maybe 2 or 3 Pilates classes every single week. Now, bear in mind, the minimum wage in the UK is about £12.50, I think. I don't know what the minimum wage in Australia is, but a few years ago when I was at uni in Australia, I was a bartender and I was earning $26 an hour. And that's just $26 an hour, not taking into account me earning extra money on penalty rates over the weekend. So that ClassPass subscription that was $70 a month, that was only 2 or 3 hours worth of work that I would have to do to pay for that subscription. Whereas in the UK, it's like $20 a class for Pilates. Now, assuming that I was on minimum wage, again, still just working as a bartender or something, I'd have to do like an hour and a half, 2 hours of work just for one class. It's not even just Pilates either. I'm a laser hair removal girly. In Australia, it was $35 for a single treatment of Brazilian and underarms. That was on sale, but it was always on sale. Like, you could always get a discount for laser hair. Now, the company that I used to go to get my laser hair removal done also works out of the UK. In order for it to be the same, by the same company doing the same service in the UK, it would have to cost something like £15-20 for a single session of Brazilian and underarms. Tell me why it costs £50. Equivalent of that in Australia would be like a single session costing $90 to $100 just for one session. I would have to do 2 or 3 hours worth of work just for one session of laser hair removal. And I know that obviously a lot of these things like Pilates and laser hair and beauty treatments and getting your nails done, these are all luxuries. But it shouldn't be that expensive. When people ask why I want to move back to Australia and why life was so good there, I just have to use examples like that. Like, it shouldn't be completely impossible for me to be able to enjoy really basic luxuries like getting my nails done or going to a Pilates class. I'm also convinced this is why the UK has such a culture of drinking, because the only thing you can afford to do is go to the pub because everything else is completely out of reach financially. And I'm convinced it makes everybody happier and life better when you're able to access things. I could be a student that was working 20 hours a week doing my degree as a bartender, and I could still afford to live a relatively okay life. And that doesn't feel unreasonable to want. Anyway, I've been thinking about it a lot because I miss my lifestyle of going to Pilates classes and being healthy. And anyway, on that note, I'm going to go to the pub.
Let's just take a minute to talk about this cost of living business, because it is just outrageous. Actually outrageous. So I'm going to give you some examples. So food, like if you want to eat good quality, nice food, and that it's going to last for more than a day, you spend an absolute fortune. If you want to get supplements for yourself, for your kids, so just as an example, for my kids, if I was to get them all the supplements that they needed, so how many of them is there? 1, 2, 3. So there's about 5 or 6 supplements really that they need to be taking as a separate amount to get the full amount of each supplement. That would be £60 per child. So what is that? 6, 12... 180, is it? I'm terrible with maths, don't do maths. About 150 to £180 a month for 3 kids for supplements that are going to benefit them. It's disgusting. So that's that. Then there's clothes, like if you want decent, good quality clothes that are going to last, you're talking ridiculous amounts of money, especially for 3 kids. Fuel, I'm forever having to put fuel in. I reckon I spend about £40 to £50 a week on fuel. I could just go on, it's never ending. And before people start going, yeah, well, you could buy cheaper things, blah, blah, blah. I don't want cheap things. I want nice, good quality things that are going to last, that are going to benefit your body. It is just outrageous. It really is. Like food shopping, like I've tried shopping at Aldi's. All the fresh stuff doesn't last more than a day, 2 days. And it's just not nice. I normally shop at Tesco's, but even Tesco's fresh stuff, like the fruit and things like that, I found that's not lasting, and it's like really small quantities. So I'm having to go to Sainsbury's now quite a lot for a lot of fresh stuff, because it's better quality and lasts a lot longer and is bigger in size as well, so you can get more out of it. Oh, mum problems. Anywho, if anyone else can relate to this, let me know in the comments. If you can give me any ideas of where I can get nice quality things that are slightly cheaper, then let me know. Yeah, ran over. I'm going now. Bye. Let's go rob a bank.
What in the cost of living crisis, broken Britain, bar humbug Christmas is this bullshit? Now, I've done a few of these videos. This one might be the best so far. People complaining they've not got any money. Well, I tell you what, if you're buying this, you've got fucking more money than sense. Even if you have got something like an IQ of 160. So I went a bit of Christmas shopping today, went into a new Marks and Spencer's that's opened up not far away from where I am. Beautiful, it's absolutely enormous. Went to the food court. As I'm just walking along, I turn to the right and I see a fridge. And in the fridge are some pies. Yes, pies. Pastry, meat, veg. You will not believe the fucking price of these pies. Admittedly, one of them was a steak pie, a Wagyu steak, whatever that is. Looks like there's more fat than meat in it to me. And one of them was a chicken pie. Let me show you the price, but before I do, you've got to comment right now how much you think they were. Now, these were big pies that feed a family of, I don't know, 5 or 6 people. But it was a pie, nonetheless. So in the comments, before I show you the little video I've made, tell me how much you think they were. Marks and Spencer's, top of the range, mind you. What do you think? And if you've got this far, make sure you follow me, because I love finding Broken Britain bullshit videos. Anyway, here goes.
Okay, I'm gonna move out the way. Guess how much all this was, yeah? Guess how much? 4 items. Pads and a meal deal. Pads and a meal deal. Let's just guess that. £6.70. Who's paying that? Who is paying that? Me, the absolute fool, the clown. Yeah, £6.70, and that was meant to be what? 6, 7, 8. That would have been £9. £9 British pounds for 4 items. You know that's nearly someone's hourly pay. Like, a few more pounds, a couple more pounds, like 1, 2, 3 more pounds. That's an hour's work gone for sanitary pads and a meal deal for one day. Come on. Like, the UK has actually lost the plot. They've lost the plot. I'm done. I'm finished. And people are coming at me in the comments on my last video saying, oh, the UK is what you make it. Life's what you make it. You know, you can do this. No. We're in a cost of living crisis here. The stuff that we pay for to live is costing way too much. Like, we work to live. We don't work to do anything else but live and survive.